Testing. Testing 1, 2.
Testing 1, 2, 3. I love you. There's no other person I would allow to do this than you.
Oh, I love you so much.
Because I know you're doing it with love. You're a very loving creature. My name is Linda Arlene. My maiden name was Barr, and my married name is Metz.
Beautiful.
My mother's middle name was Arlene. February 5, 1948. I'm from Lansing, Michigan. It is the capital of Michigan. We moved around a little bit when I was young. I remember I was about 3. We lived in a little house on a road called Clark Street in Lansing. And then we moved kind of outside the main part of Lansing into what we called the Brown House. It was a great big farmhouse, had a barn on it. And then across the street, which was kind of like a trail, was a big barn. And we loved playing in that barn. Oh, that was so much fun. And I was little. I was underneath the age of 6. That's a happy memory because I wasn't, Grandpa was always telling me I had to take a nap. I would suggest to the younger generation to finish school, even though it's boring or hard.
Yeah.
You should not be afraid to ask for help. If the teacher in that subject is not nice, just go to another teacher. Go to the nice teacher. Already be looking to see what you'd like to do for your life, because some people want something to make a lot of money. Some people just want to do something creative. And I think you should follow your heart, because many parents try to influence their children and discourage our children. So if you want to be a traveler and go to other countries all the time, although when my grandchild goes off into these other countries, I worry, but I also pray for her safety. She has a right to live her life. Here I come to save the day. Mighty Mouse is on his way. And all them. Dorothy Arlene Bendixson was her maiden name, and Barr was her married name. I thought she was the most beautiful woman in the entire world. She had short hair, and she curled it with bobby pins, because back then they didn't have curlers. I used to want to watch Loretta Young after she passed, because Loretta Young had a story time, and God forbid Grandma and Grandpa actually let me watch that program, because I didn't like TV. Because Loretta Young was as close as I could get to my mother, and that helped a lot. My father's name was Robert J, just the J, Barr, Barr. He did not pay much attention to us children. I don't remember him ever doing anything special with us. So Spirit wanted me to have this new baby.
Yeah. Love her little tongue sticking out.
Ruby? That tongue is always hanging out.
I love you so much.
I know you do. The day began with Mama that was not home. We were getting ready to go to a church that was about a mile away from us. Gail was only 15, so we would have to walk. And my father was going through the house mumbling that he was going to kill her. But people do that. When my kid doesn't do something, I say, I'm going to kill you, but that, I don't mean I'm going to kill him. So that was kind of actually a normal thing for him, because Mama and him fought all the time. I remember Mama throwing cake at him, because he put his hand out for the cake, and she said, give me the dish. And he said, put it in my hand. And she said, give me that. And then she finally slammed it down into his hand, And I think maybe it was him that did the first throw, but that was the end of that cake because it was a cake fight. But they fought all the time. Anyway, we three girls went to this church, and I think that her boyfriend picked us up from church with his little brothers. I do not remember those brothers being in the car. I remember Gail and Donna and Dominic. I think he was a thief or something. He did jail time. And Gail was 15, dating a guy in his 20s. So we went to a movie, and they killed the dog in the movie. Got rabies or something. They had to kill him, and everybody left the theater crying. And then he took us home. And then the girls and I went to the door to get in, and there was a old refrigerator on the breezeway because we had a garage, and the covered breezeway to go in the garage. But there was an old refrigerator that would give you a shock if you touched it, so you had to know where to touch it. But we had a key in there for the house, so Gail unlocked the door and dropped the key in the house or something because she saw what we saw. There was blood inside on the wall, and the door slammed shut. The key was in there, I think, because they couldn't find another key. So Dominic, because he was on parole, I can't be involved in something like this, but he did kick the bottom. You know how doors sometimes have lip panels for decoration. The bottom one, and they're going to be weaker than the regular door because they put in special and they're cut in. He kicked that out, and since I was tiny, I was the lucky one that got to climb through and see all that blood splashed on the walls. And it was, as soon as you walk in, there was blood over here, blood over here, blood as you went up a couple of steps into the kitchen. And then when Gail saw all that, she yoked me out and told Don and I not to go in. Well, tell I'm the same as I was when I was little. I got in several times because I got thrown out several times. And there was blood everywhere. And I got as far as the den. And my mother was laying like this. And it was a pool of blood. And my father was sitting on the daybed that was in there. And he looked at me, and I ran out screaming, "They're killing Mama, they're killing Mama, they're killing Mama." And I got in there again. Gail was, back then you had to call the operator. We didn't have 911. And my father had walked out and seen Gail and then turned around and went back into the bedroom and shot himself. So the next time I ran in, my father was like that across the bed because I think he shot himself maybe in the mouth. And I'm not sure exactly, but he was like that. But Mama was a mess. She was such a terrible mess. And I thought maybe they could save her. But when the ambulance came, which was the old-fashioned station wagon, Gail had told the people. Now, between these times, I was going in and out of the house, and I was getting thrown out. But I had to see my mother. Gail specifically, because I don't think she was aware that I was coming in and out of the house because we were all going through our thing. What I call the fire rescue people. It must have been after they took Mama, because when they took Mama out on the stretcher, Gail said specifically, make sure the sheet stays on Mama's face. Mama was still alive. And so the girls don't see that, because at that point, they had shoved us back in the car. And it was a November day, November 24th, 1957. And just as she passed the window where I was sitting, a piece of wind blew off the sheet. And my mother's face was mangled. There is nothing that could have ever been done to fix that face. I went back in the house, and here they're scooping blood up in, I don't know if it was barrels or wastebaskets, and dumping it into the bathtub. And I think my father was still laying on the daybed. It was like things were happening so fast, and I kept getting thrown out of the house. They weren't going to keep me out. Mama made it to the hospital, and Gail went, I think she went in the ambulance with her, because Dominic took us to his house. He had the best mother in the entire world. She must have had 10 kids or something like that, but blind. They locked us in a room down on me, and a couple of the little brothers had to keep guard of us because we wanted to go. That was our mother. Grandma and Grandpa went to the hospital, but Mama lived for 2 hours, but she never came to. They were able to sit by her and pray for her to see what Grandma would do. And Gail was there. So a 15-year-old girl, and got to watch her mother die with that Mago face.
Okay, so they
Don
took
and
you
I were
all.
being held prisoner.
Okay.
Because they knew we'd try to escape. So they had the boys. That lady had a lot of boys, but she was the nicest lady. She was such a sweet lady, and really, 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 really late, Grandma and Grandpa came and picked us up and took us out to their house in Grand Ledge. The next day, well, we got to Grandma and Grandpa's house, and we didn't have no clothes. Mama's parents. Yeah. We didn't have any clothes, and Grandma gave me. I remember this very clearly. Grandma gave me one of her nighties, and she tied it at the bottom because it was so long. The next night, it was late at night, and Grandma and Grandpa did. I guess they didn't know what to do with us because they took us with them because they told my father's parents because they did every winter in the Florida, in Lakeland, Florida, and we went to the airport, which was, I don't know if you've ever been there, but it was all dirt ground and like a one airplane place. We had to pick them up, I guess, and I don't remember how we had room in the car. Picked them up and took them home. My brother, I don't remember seeing much of him because he was with his friends when all this took place, and somewhere along the line he hooked up with Grandma and Grandpa Barr, and when it came to custody, it was automatically understood that my brother would go with my Grandma and Grandpa Barr. He was 17, soon to be 18, so they had him about a year at the most. Turned 18 and joined the Navy. Grandpa took Gail, age 15, Donna, age 12, Linda, age 9. Wow. They were 60, living their life. They were living their life. They were having good times. They had friends. They lived a nice life. Every single friend, except two couples, boycotted Grandma and Grandpa because we were of bad blood. It's funny. To me, it's funny. The names, one was Mr. and Mrs. Payne, and the other couple was Mr. and Mrs. Akins. I mean, I always thought it was funny. They were the nicest to us all the time. They were always nice to us. They welcomed us in their homes. Yeah. We visited those two families all the time. And everybody else, even people that we were close to, nope, we were of bad blood. So, it was not just a horrible thing that happened to us, but people shunned us. And then I got made fun of when I went to school because the State Journal went to Grand Ledge too. And you have murderers in your family. You have murders. Your family's murderers. You're a murderer and stuff like that. And I had one or two friends. One friend I still am. No, kids that age are not that. Back then, we were bad blood. I mean, and that spread. We went to the same church as some of the people, and we were bad blood. Well, I wish I would have been allowed to talk about it because I don't go to bed without seeing my mother's face the wrong way, and I think of her pretty much 24 hours a day, and I question why he felt he had to murder her. Donna and Gail and my brother, we were all affected. My brother became an alcoholic, and only towards his latter years that he became a Christian and was stopped drinking, and he actually became a minister. So, and Gail's always been very religious. Donna and me, not so much. Donna and I had to take our baths in that bathtub. We couldn't take it together like we always used to because Grandma and Grandpa felt it was nasty for us to take the bath and be naked together. So we had to take that bath all by ourselves in that bathroom with the door closed. That was hugely traumatic. My mother's blood had been in that bathtub. And you know, there's going to be little crevices that nobody would have cleaned out or nothing, you know, that you can't get to. It was torment because I had to push it all down. And it's not easy because I've been put in a mental ward a couple of times. That affected me being put in a mental ward because I wasn't crazy. I was hurt. Yeah. I wanted my mother. I have never wanted my father. I wanted my mother. I wanted her to have a life. I wanted her to stay beautiful, you know, and I know we would have taken good care of her, you know, because our family has been like that. But I do believe in a higher power, and I believe that we should do the right thing. Um, I don't know if I was meant for something. I know Ken was with me for 10 years, and I have to resolve myself to the idea that he was supposed to be with me just long enough to get me on my feet. Because the first thing he did was push me into taking a course. Yeah. I guess I can be proud that I worked as a nurse for 43 years. Well, you've all got my blood, huh? I hope nobody got any of my father's blood. But Ken was a very, you know, it is what it is. But I came home frequently from school because the LPN training was a year long, and I would come home when we finish a chapter, and I did good because I always got A's and B's, and because I wasn't going to let him send me to school and not try, so I spent a lot of time in the bedroom studying, falling asleep, and finding my books on the floor the next day because he wanted to get in bed. And took the kids to the park, and I'd study at the picnic table. You know, I wanted them to have some life, but I told them when I start this, it's going to take up most of my time. But Ken was really good about it. You know, he was very good about because he put me in there. You know, he put me in school. I had to remind him of that a couple of times. But we'd finish a chapter, and then I'd leaf through the new chapter. Oh my God, I can't do that. I don't even know those words. Yeah. And I'd come home, and I'd tell Ken, I don't think I can finish this. And I'd cry. I cried a lot. He'd hold me, and he'd say, "Babe, you're not supposed to have to know what's in the chapter because you haven't studied it yet." And that's it. He said, just go one more day. Just go tomorrow. And if you still feel this way, you can quit. He had to say that to me probably 6 or 7 times because every time I opened a new chapter, I went nuts because nursing is not easy. RNs I know have a lot more they have to learn. And I wanted to go on to be an RN, but he said, not after you. He told me flat out, he said, I can't go through that again. But I would have made more money, but I guess I was meant to be an LPN. And I liked my job. I always liked, and I ended up, I worked in the hospital for 3 or 4 years. I always wanted to be either a nurse or a mother. Got both, and they're both hard. They're both hard. You have to, if you're going to be a nurse, you have to have a heart. You can't just throw pills at people, and um, and then they have to go to the bathroom, and the aid's not there. If you're strong enough to help them, you need to help them. Because I helped a lot of people, and I taught him a trick that I have, and he told me later that that was the most helpful thing that he ever learned. But I liked helping the people. It was, I'm proud of the 43 years, but I feel empty that I can't do it anymore. I was helping grandma and grandpa. I was helping Ken. You know, in my mind, I was helping people that I loved. I mean, I went out to the hearse one time, and this lady was already in there, and I said, I gotta say goodbye to her. I gotta say goodbye. And he pulled her out and opened up the zipper, and I was able to kiss her goodbye, because there's some of them that you just love, and they didn't mean to get old. They didn't mean to get old. I will never forget my grandma and grandpa. I love you. I have my arms around you. I'm going to hold you until you don't ever need to be held again, which will be forever. But I'm going to hold you, and I'm going to get you through this. But nobody helped me. Oh, she couldn't get rid of me. No, I loved my mother. I worshipped my mother. As I said, in my head, she was the most beautiful woman in the whole world, and I don't care if she got mad sometimes. Um, Even though she beat us pretty hard sometimes, I would be happy to hug her and kiss her and tell her how much I loved her, because she was. It's hard to explain. I just worshipped her, and I don't think anybody knew it. I was alone a lot, and I would just think about my mother. She did hold me a couple of times that I remember, like this. She had me, and like she was petting me like that. My baby, my baby, my baby. I cherished that. I had a dog. It was my brother's dog, but he never paid any attention to it, so it became my dog. And Grandpa was willing to take it with us, but he was kind of a hunting type of a dog, and he went next door and killed the man's chickens. So Grandpa, without me knowing, took him to the pound. And I cried and cried and cried so much that at midnight we went to the pound. And that was a stupid time to go, you know. Then they weren't there, because Grandpa was going to get me the dog back. Because we could have put him on a chain or something, because he could jump fences. And I lost my dog, and he was only about 4. And so and then somehow I got another dog at some point when it seemed like the family was, everybody else was gone, and I got a puppy. And I was at school, and this family, I think they were missionaries, came to visit, and the daughter was blind, and she loved the dog. Yeah, I came home to no dog. She loved the puppy so much, and then I never got another puppy. This is my baby, and I know she loves me.
She does love you.
Only she loves Uncle David too, a lot. You should see her eyes. You should come from the other way and see how she looks. Oh,
She's so cute.
like she's lovesick. It's just,
Is like, what do you?
I would hope that maybe they took a little pride in the fact that I was a nurse for so long. And I would like them all to believe in their own beliefs, because there's more than one way of believing. I don't really think we're supposed to just worship a thing, something you can't see. I think that you should care about your environment, care about the trees and the flowers and the food that we can grow. Mama made I don't remember how old I was. I was probably 4 or 5, but I remember Mama was cutting potatoes into pieces, and then Grandpa had plowed, and we buried these little pieces of potato, and I didn't know how you're going to grow a piece of potato, but potatoes have little things sticking out on them. They're like little roots, and so that was bewildering for me for a while. But and then we had a raspberry whole wild raspberries. We picked them and put them in a little dish, and I sold them on the road with Gail and Grandma in the watching out the window in the front porch. It's been revamped now, but there was a screen and everything, and they would watch me as far as from here to the driveway. That's how far away I'd be. So if somebody wanted to pick me up and grab me, they that wouldn't be time. Yeah. But I was cute. Grandma would braid my hair, and I would be very cute, and I'd wave to them and stuff like that. But then we had a bigger berry, but I didn't like it. I don't remember the name of it, but people like it. And Grandpa had a little viney thing that he had pears and stuff, but I don't know what happened to all that stuff. I moved away and lived my life and came home one time and all that stuff was gone. But no more raspberries either. Um, Donna got Grandpa's coins. I got songbooks because I used to sing in church. I should have thought of those songbooks as value because I gave them to my friend. They're probably long gone by now. I would have a day with my mother, and I'd probably just hug her all day. I have your mother and I have your uncle, and they're very good to me. Yes. Oh, I'm grateful for everything. I'm grateful. Somebody might look at this trailer and see that rickety rackety porch, because I know that I have a friend um, that's embarrassed to live in a trailer, and it was brand new. It was brand new, and the thing is, I got a room in that house with a toilet right next to me. All I got to do is I could count the steps. It's probably 6 steps to get into the bathroom. I have no leak. There's no leak. That house is dry. We've got air conditioning. We have space heaters. We have shelter. We're not living in the woods or on the street in a tent where, we could get murdered any minute. We're not living in the cold because it does get cold here. Yeah. I'm not living in a place like Michigan where it's freezing cold. I have food every day. I'm grateful for it. I have a granddaughter that bought a car from her sister that was never put in her name, so it's very confusing. But I have a car because this young lady loaned it to me, but she's never asked for it back. we, I mean, we have transportation, and he does a lot because he does things for Judy all the time. He does things for your mom all the time. He does things for Jesse all the time. But I have food on a tray every day. I have protein milk and I guess regular milk, and he puts some chocolate syrup in it and warms it up, and then I take all my pills with that. But I'm grateful for everything. I'm grateful for them long stem grasses. I'm grateful for that old trailer that we were going to fix it up for Lloyd, but it didn't happen. But there's another thing. Yeah, I have a lot of pain in my lower back, but I have pain medication, and I know how much I need to take to get rid of that particular pain. Yeah, and I broke my feet, but I recovered from that. I can get down on the ground, and this is the foot that's got all the metal in it. It's got, we saw an x-ray and it has all the metal. This one, he didn't put metal in because he said it had a kind of a break that could heal on its own. And it did after about a year and a half. And it doesn't, I can do anything, it don't hurt. Good. But I can get on the ground and push out with this foot and bend my toes and everything and get up off the ground. I can go all the way down and get all the way back up. Though it don't hurt. It don't hurt. I'm not having any kidney problems. And the funny thing is, when they said I had to have the heart surgery, I wasn't real thrilled about that and I didn't know when they were going to do it, you know. I went to sleep one night, and I think I woke up the next morning. I'm really not sure, but I woke up, and when I woke up, I had all these tubes coming out of me, and I'm thinking, dang, they I went to surgery already. But I mean, somebody sawed my thing apart,
and you didn't even know.
I had no, uh, but the only thing that's embarrassing is that I know that they strip you naked for these things. But I was completely out of it. I woke up and it was all finished. They made sure to give me pain pills. But I'll tell you a secret. I've never told anybody. I wasn't in any pain. I'm grateful for you. Did I already say that? I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for your spirit. You cheer me up all the time, and I really appreciate when you take the time to pay attention to your old grandma. Well, I hope my grandchildren follow their hearts and pay no attention to people that say, "Oh, you can't do that," because I know there was a lot of people that said it about me. But got to follow your heart because you won't be happy in any way if you're not following your heart. I can't believe I'm as old as I am. I'll be 80 in 2 years, less than 2 years. But my older sister is in her 80s because she's a couple of years older than Donna. Donna's going to be 81 in November. So I'm not far behind. And every one of my children are in their 50s.
Granddaughter's almost 30.
Oh, man. I mean,
and Shelby's turning 35. And Melinda's 26 or turning 26. Crazy.
She was this little tiny. And I remember when you had this, you were allergic to penicillin, I think. And you had all those blotches all over you.
My rash.
I love you.
I love you. I believe in fairies.
I can't wait to show you a picture of an owl with his feathers up. You will die. You will die.
I can't believe we saw that owl.
Yeah, that's boundaries. Apparently he doesn't come up here. Because, you can't see fairies. But they're probably here. Because if we're here and there's smaller people here, why can't there be little teeny tiny,